G M GM GM GM
Hello, Jose.
Santiago de la Mancha. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
Jose Maria de la Paiva. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I cannot complain. A bit tired. But doing well.
I mean, you are Mr. Worldwide, right, Santiago? It's normal.
No, I'm not Mr. Worldwide. Katir. Oh, Santi, please check DMs. What's happening, Katir? Mod FIC refill?
For sure, it's fake.
Yes, it is. we have internal pings. Like we have bots that ping the team for refill. But I can be that bot as well. So I will ping actually right now.
Doing Irish work, Santi.
I pinged again. Mod don't want sleepless FIC night. Yeah, no. Understandable. I just pinged the team Katir. Should be fixed very, very soon. Tango Psych. Leading the way in the sync leaderboard. Up there. Doing well, brother.
GM, everybody. GM.
Dominic Bain.
Dominic Vane.
Dominic Bain. How are you doing, Dom?
Fantastic. How you boys doing?
Also doing well. Also doing well.
Excited. We have Danny today. Huge.
First brew with Danny.
First brew
This
with
is-
Danny, yes. Is it?
That is.
I guess we only had Danny on town halls.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Just that you got the popcorn ready?
Yes, I'm eating popcorn. That's why I'm muting myself, honestly.
See, guys, you take the advice from Jose, go get some popcorn because it's going to be a good brew. It's going to be a great
Exactly.
brew.
Get your popcorn, guys. Danny will cook
Yes,
for us.
sir. Yes. I think, as always, we can get started here with some noteworthy news before getting Danny on stage. And I think the most important thing happening right now, or one of the most important things right now, is the DAO Council election that is happening. It's moving by the day, also, by the way. I don't know if you guys have been tracking, but oh my god, it's different every day, the results. If you see here, can you guys see my screen? I hope you can.
It's loading for me still.
Loading.
Loading?
Yeah, still loading. You might want to restart.
Discord.
There you go. You're good.
Okay. So we have the PIP 25. We're already at 25 pips, which is also pretty insane. But we have the DAO Council elections with Emperor, with Yasfreaks, Winston, Blade, Lancer, and Morango. And so far, the results, I checked early today, and Morango was first, and Blade was on last place, and now it changed again. So your vote really matters, guys. Your vote really matters. I think there's still some time to vote. It's one more week, but go cast your vote right now. So far, the council that we're getting is Winston, Morango, Lancer, Emperor, and Blade. So go support your favorite candidate right now and vote. I think people are saying my audio is bad.
You're kind of
Exactly.
lagging a bit, yeah.
They are saying you are becoming Ooster.
Oh man, I have random spikes to 5,000 ping. Like it's 1 second that happens. Let me leave and rejoin.
While Santi is away, I'll sing us a song.
Serenade us, bro.
Meu amor é cebola cortada, meu bem,
Ah.
que logo me faz chorar.
What is going
Since
on?
it's
I
back.
live for a
Ah,
second
dude, I'm
and
giving that an 8.2, man. I'm giving that an
what?
8.2 out of 10.
What just happened? Dude, I left 1 second, I come back and Jose is singing.
I
What
did
is
what I
going
needed to do. That's all I'm
That's
going
a
to say.
that's an easy 8.2 out of 10 for sure.
Thank you.
Great job, Jose.
Thank you, Dom.
Yeah.
I do what I must.
Oh man. Yeah, I think it should be a better now, I guess. You guys let me know. We
Yep.
can keep going. They're saying that I should get better internet. I pay 500 megabytes, but this Argentinian internet, I guess. I
Discord
get packet
servers don't like
loss.
Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we keep going. Another thing happening this week is the Econ Forum tomorrow. And Jose,
Oh
is a big one.
my God, we got a
Guys,
spicy one, pretty spicy one actually.
I think, honestly, you guys tell me what you guys think, but this is as big as a town hall, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. People who care about Stratus economy, people who cares about, yeah, be there. Don't miss the Econ Forum tomorrow. It's going to be big, honestly. You guys think I am, you guys know what I am, the cheerful, hyped guy, but this is the real deal. You must be there tomorrow, honestly. No cap.
Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be big. And also, one thing that you cannot forget for tomorrow is the brain cells. I know at this point in this cycle, we don't have many left. At least I don't. But bring the brain cells tomorrow because Chris is going to be sharing some deep stuff.
He'll blow everyone's minds. Get ready. Transcend.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Econ Forum tomorrow. Mark is interested. You will also be able to get the Iris Blessing tickets. Like today, we're going to be sharing a code. So another thing that we're thinking, Jose, for the econ side of things, is the formation of a new group. A new group may happen, may be created, which is the StarAtlas Econ Bantara.
Yep. I mean, I think this is a great idea, honestly. We have people helping with game testing, game design, and we have many big brains in this community that play Sage, that really enjoys being part of the Stratus economy. So why not leverage this intelligence to help us shape the future of the Stratus economy? So yeah, I just need to think of a good name for these people. Something like Vantara. I see the suggestions and they are horrible.
They are trash. All of them.
I'll spend some time trying to the
Spreadsheet tara.
spreadsheeters. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, we are looking forward to bring you guys to work closely to Chris to help shape the future of Star Atlas and Napkin Heroes. I like this one, Lerno.
That one is the best one so far.
Best one so far.
Police bumpers.
Police Pumpers. That's a good
Yeah.
one as well. But yeah, we're going to get some names. If you guys have someone that you'd like to see in this group, send me a DM, send Santi a DM. We are taking applications.
We may do a farm. We may do a farm very
We
soon.
may do a form. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is
But
big.
it's needed. It's needed.
It is
So
needed.
yeah, that is going to be happening. And then another thing is something happening for the Star Atlas community during Breakpoint, which is the Super Phoenix racing tournament, which is going to be pretty awesome. I know that there's a lot of people participating, and it's not only a tournament, but they're actually doing a mobile app as well for the Seeker phone. So check that out. I just dropped the Discord link in the chat, and you can find it at superphoenixsports.com as well. You will be able to follow live what's going on in the racing. And I think they're also enabling a prediction market as well, which is pretty epic. So definitely check that out and participate if you can, because not only if you're racing, but you can actually participate if you are watching the tournament live. So big one. Big one starting next week.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, man. Like seeing esports coming to Star Atlas and being born from community initiative, man, this is huge. Super excited to see what the Super Phoenix DAO is cooking. Really want to see.
Yeah. A mobile app dedicated to Atlas esports. I think that's fantastic. So we'll see. I'll be
Santi,
watching live.
you are back to Worcester, my brother.
And still,
Yes.
Does that mean you're gonna sing for us again, bro?
Oh my god, thank he's back.
it's not working. Need Brazilian funk.
Need to change styles.
Um, but yeah, no, I think that covers the noteworthy news. I know everybody wants to talk with Danny here. So, Jose, Dom, or the community, anything that I missed before we move to the main topic?
No,
Feeling
I
good.
think we are ready.
Ready to talk with
to rock
Danny.
and roll.
Yeah. And don't forget, you will be earning some tickets if you stay for the code later. So, Danny, we'll get you to stage. I just invited you to speak.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey, Danny.
Hey.
Jam Danny.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Oh man, I just got a little bit of a image dump from the environment guys on this next map that's coming, and it looks so good. I can't wait to share.
That's how
Nobody-
you enter the stage.
That's
I like that. I like
that's
that.
how
a
I
lot.
start.
it just came through, and you'll see when you guys see it. But whew, it's good. It's good, and nobody knows what's coming. That's what's cool.
Until now.
Oh, share. I really want to leak this one, but maybe we'll do it for the Friday sneak peek.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Awesome. Looking forward.
Yes. So, Danny, it's good to have you on stage again. I think it's the first time we have you at the brew. So,
Yeah, I thought I'd been on once, but I guess that was a town hall.
I think it
So,
was. It was a long town hall. I think it was like a 3-hour long town hall, which ended up feeling like a brew.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
a town hall. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Danny, we're going to cover everything SES related. We just pushed the new update, and I know everybody's eager to hear from you on what that is. But before that, Danny, there's one thing that we wanted to cover. I believe we shared this in Foundation Room sometime, I believe last week or the week before. And it's about the product ecosystem of Star Atlas. Now that we have Sync, that we have a lot of things going on, I think it's valuable to cover this together with the community. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll share my screen shortly so you guys can see. But it's basically an overall view on the Star Atlas ecosystem. So, and the product ecosystem for Star Atlas. So I think we can start with that and covering how everything ties to each other, and then we get on the SES deep dive. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Mike just sent
I
me a holy F after I sent him those images. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I put together this image from a request, a community request. I think it was icy. Um, and um, it's kind of a refresher. You know, after Zinc came into the ecosystem, everyone needed some kind of recalibration on the overall product stack, is what I was calling it. Just how everything fits together. Um, I've always seen this as one product, the Star Atlas, and just different ways of interacting with the economy, essentially. So that's why I put the galactic economy as like this giant block there, is because everything is about updating and interacting with the galactic economy layer. I was referring to the economic engine. Even Zinc itself was invented to support that economic layer for Star Atlas. There just happened to be other use cases for it, so it turned into its own branded product. And so that's kind of where it all draws down into it in this image, is that economic engine. But the way most people will be interacting with it is either the MMORPG or the MMORTS, which they still work together because there's going to be a lot of crossovers. I'll get into that. So the MMORPG is in Unreal, and that's where we have a lot of immersive game modes. And the reason why we're building out those individual game modes is because they're building blocks. And you've seen other projects build like that. I think if you go look at I think it was a Kickstarter for Ahoy, is being built like that. Ashes of Creation, Star Citizen, even they bring out little mini games around a mechanic that gets released, and players get to play with it as we're developing the full open galactic world. And the reason for that is to hone in on the mechanics. So with gunplay specifically, we actually did learn a lot. There was a lot of edge cases that came up that wouldn't have normally came up, where we just said, "Hey, gunplay mechanics working. Let's move on to the next thing with ship play or crafting or mining or whatever." So we found out a lot of things by releasing it, and now we can refine it, and it becomes like a really solid mechanic instead of just something we balance later after everything's in. So this flow has been proven to work with other very large crowdfunded games because, well, I mean, could you imagine if we just said, hey guys, thanks for the money. See you in 5 years or whatever.
no.
It's impossible. You can't do a crowdfunded game like that. And you see all these other crowdfunding games working that exact same way. So that's why we see these different modes coming out. And there's one on there called Siege. And that's something we'll get into soon.
Okay.
Not on this call, but soon. So that kind of covers it, and then obviously there's the big single player Galia that really gets to test some of our pacing of the games, like how long does it take to get into a ship from foot? How long does it take to get out into like low orbits, start doing some mining, get into a mission, resolve a mission? All these kinds of things are really quickly prototyped. And Brad's been doing a really great job tying them all together, and it gives us a feel of what we need to kind of shave off and dial in. And no hate, I love Star Citizen, but one of the hardest things for replayability is how long it takes to get into like meeting up with your friends or getting to a mission. Sometimes it can take like 45 minutes, and then a bug may ruin that gameplay or that game session, and then you got to go do it all over again. So these are things we're very sensitive to, and the Galia prototype kind of helps us to iron these out, make it more of a balanced simcade approach rather than a full simulation. But on the other side of it, now there's the MMORTS, which we're already playing with Sage Labs, and getting a taste of it, of further development into features with Holosim. And that's, yeah, the goal of that, and especially with C4 coming out, is to become a 4X game, a fully 4X game on chain. And then all those interactions, all the game logic, they're all completely on chain. And that's kind of the basis for, what I should say, this crossover into MMORPG, is we want crossovers, but we have to still find places where we can do those on-chain transactions, and then have the economy and the game world sync up between the two experiences. And one of the things I mentioned here in crossover events is something we're planning to do after C4, where you could have a contested territory that can be resolved through arena matches in Unreal, or ship combat, fleet combat in Unreal, and then they resolve on chain, and then it also affects territory conquering and the game board in Sage. So that largely covers MMORTS, MMORPG, how they tie together into one economy, and then the two portions on top, crew cards, they're basically your player characters and multi-crew bulk units for staffing your buildings and claim stakes, for staffing all your stations in your ships and fleets. And then the way we identify where these crew cards come from is from a lot of the story and lore, which is kind of in the reverse economic engine. It's the fantasy engine of the crew cards, which leads into exploring the galactic world. Because while there's a lot of ships and everything, what's actually the actual experience that people go through is people powering those ships. So your character playing those ships is what's interesting. It's not actually the ships. It's how the individual interacts with the awesome mechanics of these ships that makes it interesting. And so that's why it's a base layer that kind of leads into that. Yeah. So I think that covers this. And then I guess, yeah, I mentioned Zinc, yeah. And Zinc becomes its own all-encompassing chain that we can do all this stuff on, with, we're the only project on that chain. Performance becomes similar to Holosim.
Yeah. I saw some questions in the chat, and guys, if you have any questions before we move to the Sage Editor Suite, feel free to ask them right now. We have literally our CPO talking about the big scale product vision, so let's take advantage of this moment at the brew. We have a question from NDR, Danny, about the mobile, that we see mobile being mentioned in Stratos Golden Era, and he's asking basically if it's the ambition to have them work on mobile as well.
Yeah, no, that's right. So what's beautiful about being on chain is if there's so many different ways that different people can build different clients, and as long as you're using the same on-chain programs, then we don't really care how it gets there. But the approach that I mentioned there, thin web and mobile MMORTS client, it's the first version of that is kind of how we've been doing with Sage Labs. Trying to keep design bloat down to a minimum, just get stuff out and playable and testable. It's why we keep the labs moniker on there, is because things can break, but we just want to make sure that they're playable and it's working before we go too heavy into the design bloat and make it like a full-on production quality release. So that's why I mentioned that first. It's and part of it being on web is it also has to work for mobile, so people can load it into like their wallets, into their wallet browser, and interact with it there, so it works. Because especially with C4 coming, you're going to want to know when you're being attacked, and you're going to want to react, right? You're not just going to be blind to those kinds of notifications.
Mhm.
And then the next evolution of that, where I mentioned full web and mobile game, that's where the work in Fleet Command is going to turn into a full production quality game and cross-platform game. So what we've done with Coherent Labs in Unreal is we're able to work in TypeScript to make the UI, which works in Unreal and it works on web at the same time. So once we finish the Sage Labs phase, then we move into the Fleet Command phase, and then it becomes a full cross-platform thing using one code base.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. Any other questions from the audience, or we can move to the SES main topic?
I think Santi meant to ask if anyone has any questions on this. Santi, you went full Worcester. Okay, you back?
Kick your back.
I get random spikes
Yeah, Santi's back.
sometimes in connection, but yeah. All I heard from Santi was 110011. Oh man, yeah, it's so random. But yeah, I was asking if there are any other questions. I guess there aren't. What's the timeline for completion? That's the toughest question ever.
Yeah, can't speak on that today, obviously, but soon TM is the best we can say at the moment. There was some minor shifts into the front end work recently, and so things are picking up pace there. But yeah, all I can say right now is soon.
Okay. There's a question about NPCs in Galia.
Yeah,
there-
like on Planet. Yeah, I'm tracking that. There's it's I don't know if you guys remember, even in Star Citizen, it took them like years. I feel like it's only a few years ago they finally got NPCs working on their planets, but it's a hard thing to do 3D AI navigation, nav mesh on planets. But we have recently did some really good work for ship AI navigation in 3D space. And Colin is tracking what we need to do for nav mesh, and I think he has a solution, but it's a little bit down on the roadmap, so we're not able to approach it in the very near term, but it's on the roadmap. So I'm not too concerned. It's just a matter of time.
Perfect. Perfect. Another question about NPCs and AI. If we're using, I guess it's a specific one, but I don't know if you have like any comment on AI tools that we are using, or if we're planning to integrate AI to the NPCs.
Yeah, eventually. No, not right now. Everything is kind of pre-scripted storylines. So no, not fully AI personalities or anything like that yet.
Okay. All right. I think we can move into the main topic. People are telling me I sound robotic again, so maybe Jose, you want to take it away?
Yep. So Danny, I think we can get started on SES. What's the latest update that you brought us today that you're going to share with us today?
Yeah. Yeah, let me share screen. Let's see. Can you see that?
I see your screen.
I see the Automata
Okay.
product stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah. So so yeah, I've been putting some effort into the Sage Editor Suite, added a couple new tools recently. And yeah, the important thing to think about here is they are tools. That's why they're sitting in the tool section. But it creates an interesting conversation. Um, the reason why this is a tool is because it directly interacts with the map editor. So it might be fun to actually show how we can make a live edit to the map. And another tool here was just on Monday. It hasn't been fully vetted, but it's basically like a single source of truth tool for the blockchain team, and they'll take one JSON with everything in it rather than have multiple JSONs. So now it goes through all of our tools and gets the latest updates. So everything we make in the other tools here, ship configurator, map editor, all these get lumped up and they get stripped of the app specific, tool specific things like lock statuses and stuff, and just stripped down just to the base data that would be used for game. So it's the game export from this tool, this dev tool suite. So yeah, and then before I get into this, I thought it might be interesting to answer some of the questions about like how long it took and stuff like that. And this is, I mentioned in chat, this is 100% solo vibe coded, just from myself. And last month I just, working in the map editor, it's 2D, right? So what artists and basically everyone in production like to do is see a final version or a final test bed, a final-ish of their output, right? So if I'm making a map and you see in the map editor, it's in 2D, and I've been doing this for a long time that I think my instincts are pretty well calibrated, but I still need to validate that. And these tools, the vibe tools, I don't know what we should call them, but they help this in a way that's never been accessible before. So, I went through and I laid this all out. It's in 2D, and there's a lot of information and all these things, a lot of data, and just using my imagination, I think this is going to end up looking nice, and it's a really great place to go. But why not validate that? So I took that and I said, hey, let's turn this into a 3D thing. And literally one prompt, and I'll show what it looks like after one prompt. So now this is just literally, you throw in the plan, here's the data, boom, now I have something to work with. So this is an interactive 3D canvas that visualizes the 2D map that I had. And the y-axis jitter is just some random jitter at first. So this is what you get as an output from that in literally, I don't know, it was like 10 minutes or something. And then I see something like this and I go, great, now I've got something to work with. And then I keep tweaking and I go on the side and then after a week I get something like this. So I'm just polishing and editing all the different styles of things, bringing in I brought in the warp gates from our Sage 3D. Everything's procedural. And I'm just asking it to do, I need this feature, I need SVG 3D meshes of our icons to be able to put in. So then it puts this whole library of converting SVGs into actual 3D mesh, and then I can place it. And so I'll kind of just like tick these off on the side, and then less than a week of work, you get something really nice like this. you can see you even got the star bases like placeholders. It's all based on the data. And then, have these debug tools to see like what's working and making sure I'm keeping performance up. So the point is to get something that distills down all this data from the map editor into something that's user friendly, and the user experience is just basically what a player would go through if they were interacting with this data. A lot of times people go, oh wow, 945 systems, 3,000 planets, 69 regions, that's so much, and they flip out thinking it's so much, but that's because you're getting a look behind the curtain, right? You're not supposed to see all that data and think that's the game. The game is, hey, I jump into a system, I see like, 4 planets and a few stars. And then, okay, what does this planet have? So it's got these resources. And let me just jump in now. So now you kind of get like a reason like for doing that. So now all these numbers here, the 98,000 resources, all these stars and planets, it gets distilled down into what does the user actually experience moment to moment. And really their context is going to be, the 20 different resources. Do I need any of these resources in the in my current gaming session? Do I care about this stuff? And then so all this wrapper is just for distilling down all that crazy data into a gameplay experience. So with very minimal work on the side, we can get something that represents the game pacing, the game moment to moment, much better. And if it doesn't work, I'll tweak it. I've tweaked the jitter algorithm so it like has this nice kind of bursting in the middle and then kind of flattens near the end. Because if it's all just flat, they can kind of overlay on each other. It's hard to select them, so we get this nice like kind of placement of the individual systems. You can start to identify systems based on how they look, and get familiar with the galactic neighborhood. Instead of just a bunch of noise, now you kind of get something that's a little more relatable. And so that's largely the point of the tool. And there are very specific landmarks like the central space stations that I wanted to draw in permanently, just kind of get a feel. So what we can do now from this kind of a single source of truth is we could start using that in Galia for all the systems that we have to build out, for Sage Labs, for any client can use this. Does it need the 3D data? Does it just need the 2D? It's all there and it's available with these tools. And it's also when you get into the individual, let's just pick one. When you get into the individual systems, you can see there's a lot of data on all the individual planets, all the individual systems that it can pull from. So like terrestrial planets, for example, every planet type has its own like set of themes that changes the look, procedurally changes the landforms, the ocean and clouds and everything. Everything in this app is procedural except for the warp gates and the star bases. And I think that's it. Yeah. And of course the icons for like factions. But everything else is procedural. It's extremely small footprint. Obviously, procedurally, there's still a lot of work that the CPU needs to do to render all this stuff. But it's extremely lightweight because of that. So what this does is it distributes all these different themes of different planet types based on resources that are on that planet, based on location, based on the stars that are nearby and like how they would affect the ecosystems on these different planets. And so then you get like a lot of different looking interesting planets to play with. And you see even the like atmospheres. There's like higher atmosphere because this is an oceanic planet. The atmosphere colors match it. And they also, the colors are distributed based on like the star colors nearby. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this app.
Man, Danny, I almost feel like we should overlay the lore that we have written and start adding that to that view so people could see like the lore wiki in
Oh
this
yeah.
format. It would be super cool, right?
Yeah, so that's another phase I'm going to ask you to work on with me here is like you can actually go into the map editor and like change the names of all these. Like these are procedurally generated names based on like the region, the territory that or the faction territory, the type
Mhm.
of system. And it's just like it's just procedurally generated, but we want to, make this look cool and be more immersive with like real names and system names and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, and there's little cool things that you can really enhance the user experience. I can go into region modes where you just kind of view the region and you just isolate. Here's a cool region. Here's all the systems that are in that specific region. Um, and navigate the Galia in that way. You can also see like Mud owns 8 of the core systems in here, and you only need 5 of them to own the entire region. That's why it's a Mud region. Um, so you can see that kind of data, and that's all again baked into the. You can see here, 10 of them are neutral. So neutral means like Eco's Tufa, kind of bad guys have set them up. So you got to go and take over them. So yeah. Also, I did kind of wanted to do that too, where you could see. I haven't done it here, but like if the territory is blocking the ability to travel to like this region or that region, then it's like these ones are permanently safe, but out here they turn into expanded safe regions. So it would have been nice to also visualize that. But once I started doing the regions, it was like pretty expensive. Like the frame rate drops, and I didn't want to do any optimizations. I had to kind of just ship it out and and move on. But there's a lot we can do uh, with that kind of data. So you get into regions, and then uh, I added a flight mode, so it's kind of just this totally fun thing. Plays really nice. It's actually really fun. It's got all the same like movement, VTOL, strafing, everything just like our game. It's got the VJoy. Oh boy, that's loud. Hang on. Here, I'll just do this. It only plays the first time, so here we go. I was realizing this game was so quiet, so I had to make some music in there, and it's kind of fun to play around with.
it vibes.
And this looks complicated, right? It's got the flaps that move with the speed. I got braking, boosting. I got cruise control, and I've got the animated jet flames and the lens flare effect and the little streaking stars going by as you go really fast. Sounds like a lot, right? No, it was an afternoon of like and then it was literally fully featured just like this. And the most of the time is like figuring out some weird curves. Like when I flipped over, that like it got weirdly reset with the rotations and then I tried a different model and it figured it out. but yeah, that ends up taking most of the time rather than just getting this stuff to work. But yeah, afternoon, and we got a full flight mode, so why not? I'm having to like adjust my sense of what is too much scope. I used to have to always kind of stop my thinking of like, oh no, this is too much scope. It's going to take too long. Let's just skip over a lot of little quality of life features. Let's just get things out and get things working. But with these like AI augmented coding tools, I don't have to hold back anymore with those kinds of things. If something is a little off, like, hey, I don't want these orbit lines to show unless I hover over it. I'll just go, okay, let's do that. And then when I hover, I want this little like flagpole of data to show on everything. It's okay, let's do that. So you get this like, it is turned into kind of like an experiment of why not see how far I can push it, see how good these tools actually are, and see how far I can push it. And I mean, if I were to try to schedule all this in with an actual team in traditional pipelines, it would have taken better half of a year to get this level of polish. And then it's like I don't have my hands directly on it, so I can't, make very detailed stuff, very detailed changes. Like these flags, when I first put them in it, they were a little jittery because it was using like a lower pixel grid. So then I asked the thing, I say, can you make that smoother? And it figured out some way to make it super smooth. It's like little things like that. It's just great. Let's
Danny,
see. Mhm.
do you see this technology, this AI augmentation, helping in other fronts of StarAtlas development as well?
Yeah, it already is. Honestly, the only place that it's a little tough is in like blueprinting stuff in Unreal, because those are binaries, and so the coding models can't crack into it and get like full context of them. You can kind of feed it some screenshots um, and it does help through that, but it's not as clean as where it could get its fingers on the actual code and understand context better and make direct changes. Um, but that's getting better. Opus 4.5 coming out has also been a big acceleration um, for those kind of like blueprint binary updates. But everything else literally is um, improved. One of the biggest complaints is there's too much to review, and to me that's a good thing. Like, wouldn't you want a ton of stuff to review rather than have to write that all yourself? And if the quality is good, then it's good, and everything's accelerated. So yeah, it's getting through, and it's permeating through a lot of our pipelines, and it's speeding things up a lot. I mean, it's an absolute paradigm shift. So yeah, cool. Yeah, I even put like the actual star bases in there, so you can see all the different CSSs, and then we got this cool like warping. So all the warp gates are linked up between the systems, and that's playable too. So you can just kind of click on it and fly through. You can look around while you're flying, and just go system to system. And if you start learning the system of how warp gates work, it's pretty interesting too, because then you can look at, let's see, where am I? I'm on CSS. So this one goes to region 2. This one goes back to the center. So if I want to keep going out, then I go to region 2, and what I found interesting by making that system, and I said it's from a gameplay perspective, is this too much data? Is it going to be hard to navigate? Is it going to be too much for players? And by making these kind of systems, like breaking it down to easy to understand warp gates, and we can make them even easier, with that naming convention, then people can get familiar with how the system was set up. Because right now you have this king system in every region, and the king system is connected to all the major core systems with warp gates, and then those connect to other regions. So then you start getting that system down, and it's a little easier to understand when you actually get in and play it, rather than just theoretically, okay, that's how they work. Then you try to memorize the system that way. And little things like this, I would never ask somebody to try to build all this like manually if we're trying to get a game out. But this is, again, an afternoon. Do this atmosphere simulation, and it terminates down on the dark side of the planet. The lighting is based on the actual stars, so it's facing it. These shadows that cast onto the rings, all this stuff, like, screw that. Like, trying to ask people to put that into the game, that's like you're prioritizing at that point. Like, what do I not want to get in to get that in? So now we can just do both, So anyway, that's kind of like the major overview of this the purpose of this. And of course, like, right when I showed, like, after a week of work and I show this, and then people's eyes start lighting up and they go, whoa, this looks like a game, and immediately people are like, wow, this looks like a game. And like, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, yeah, this is vibe coded, so there would still have to be a lot of optimizations if we were to make it a game. There's some trade-offs, by being in browser, which, I mean, I got it down to like 13 seconds to load at some point. I feel like there are even more optimizations we could do, and it just kept getting better and better as I did like some optimizations with instancing and parallel loading, and it just started getting better and better. But unless we turn this into a full client, it's just, the purpose is there. It's resolving what I needed it to resolve. There's another cool thing here, which was another afternoon. Build me like the whole outliner overview of everything, so you can, say you wanted to let's find a volcanic planet, or if you were looking for specific resources, for example. Okay, so now all our faction territories, there's 23 systems with volcanic planets and 22 in Oni. Okay, so this region has a volcanic planet, so let's jump to it. And then, it actually has a black hole too. So there's a volcanic planet, and you can see that here too, under planets. There's a volcanic planet. There's all the resources. You can see the resource richness. You could play the entire thing from the the outliner if we wanted to.
This is super cool, Danny. One question from the audience, Danny. That map, it follows the size of our Sage, or so it's, let's say, up to scale with our game right now.
Yeah. We were talking about, and by the way, here's the volcanic planet, just so we have some resolution. That one, the cool black hole. Yeah, let me pop back out to the overview. So turn on the regions. The regions match currently, for the most part. There's obviously more regions. We went up to 69 regions, I think, rather than the 51. So the original ones are mapped 1-to-1. So I took those, and you can see the ones that are currently owned, the colored ones, are based on everyone at tier 5, and these are going to be your regions. And then all the neutral new ones, there's no data for in the current game, so you have to like go and take those over. So it'll be a nice fun first mission is to take over those regions, maybe to expand your little territory. But yeah, because people in Sage Lab get to tier 5, then they get to have their regions like owned in C4. And you can see we've got 8 booster systems here in this region, and you only need 5 to own, but you get all the cores at tier 1. And let's see if we can find the king. So the king is here, and you can see it's owned, and the king is a tier 5 because you guys worked to get to tier 5. So let that load in, and like I said, there could be some what do I call it, optimizations, because it's working okay for my purposes. So yeah, you got a tier 5. It's not always perfect. It's getting eaten by the sun, but the data is correct anyway. And then
Man, this is so cool.
I make it further away from the sun.
Guys, by the
Here's your-
way, just a small disclaimer, Danny. The code for today is ship it ! It's on the chat since he shared it. I shared it. Use it, redeem it, because it ceases to be available in the end of this brew. So run. But yeah, this is looking super cool, Danny. We can do a lot of cool stuff with this, honestly.
Yeah, you see there's different types of terrestrial planets. It's not just a one size fits all. Yeah. Let's see. There's a lot to go over. The favoriting system, if you, like I said, you favorite these things, favorite some regions, and then you should be able to see that on the map. Where is it? There it is, over there. So yeah, just some way to make it easier to understand this from a gameplay perspective. And I don't know, I'm still through all this, I'm still not intimidated by the amount of resources and planets and systems and regions that we've put in here. And I think it makes for a lot of interesting gameplay by having it at this scale. I put in some simulated warp travel between the different warp gates. Those are actual warp gates in the world, and I'm just acting like there's a little ship flying through them. And we could up that. If this was an actual MMORTS, you'd be seeing like crazy amounts of movement going all over the place. So yeah, cool, man. Yeah, lots going on there.
Yeah, this is super cool. I get hyped just thinking about the possibilities here, especially on the lore front, allowing people to have like a lore 3D wiki like that, where maybe in the future we can have ships flying, the NPC factions in their home worlds, the different star bases, the places of interest that we have in Galia. This is huge. Like the only CSS we see over there. This is so freaking cool. This is super cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The actual. I had some problem with the transparencies, but that's okay. These are cheap. It still looks good.
This is super cool. Guys, any questions? To Danny, we are on the last minutes of our brew, so make sure you ask all the questions that you have. Pick Danny Brain. He's here, ready to give you the alpha. They are asking about the travel speeds, Danny. It follows the Sage warp and subwarp logics, or it's different?
No, I mean, yeah. So there's the travel modes are still going to be the same, adding the warp gate travel or warp lanes for really fast, but but we will probably have to slow things down. It might actually be too fast because the density was a lot less in Sage labs currently in Starbase. So now, like, you don't have to travel very far to get to a whole new system. So we likely have to slow that down just to balance it. Anyway.
Danny Lerno is asking, will PTR include all these systems and we play according to this, or it's going to be a more constrained version?
Well, right now, yeah, they're working with a smaller data set. So I don't know how much we'll scale that up to this, full production release. So we'll probably stick with a smaller data set. We'll see. See if it makes sense.
Mhm. Will this be live? Like, for example, if a region is captured in C4, will it be reflected here?
I could change it to load that data instead. Like right now, it's really really flexible. Like I said, you can. Let me just show something interesting. Let's just let's move all this out. Move all this out. And then region go. And let's set controlling faction to Easter, sure. Now we export this out. And let's call it okay. Then go back home. And go this out. So I'll load in this smaller thing. And it's super flexible. Let's see. I haven't tested this lately, so let's see if it worked. Shoot, no, I broke it. Okay. let me delete browser history. And then I didn't test this live. This is live demo stuff.
We do it live.
Yeah. Import. Oh, I see. I'm on the server. If I were doing this locally, then that's what should happen. That's the problem. Let's try this again.
People are asking if they can watch you do this daily. Have a Danny cam. Follow you vibe coding.
Oh, it's insane. I'll sometimes dual or triple wield like cursor editors and like working on all these different things. Like made a whole different tool this morning. The full production tool that's like gonna immensely help me out while working on another side project. It's crazy. So let's see if this works. Okay, last try. Okay, I still see something in the background. Didn't crash. Okay, there we go. So
Let's go.
there's the changes we made, and you can see the oh, it didn't clear the regions. That's okay. Still a little broken. If I were to load into it naturally, the regions would have been cleared. But anyway, you see how the map is very different, and we can
Yeah.
now we could make this live if we wanted to. It would procedurally update to whatever we make that source file.
Yeah, no, this is extremely cool.
And one last thing, the that jitter is actually baked in, that seed of how the map is offset, so it's not just random every time. So that way we can use it as a source of truth for 3D maps as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there's a whole pinning system too. Like if you like the place, you can pin it and then jump back to it anytime. You could share them as URLs. So if you guys like a really cool planet, you could You could pin that, copy that, and then share that URL, and then it'll take you right back to it. Take anyone directly to that spot. You share the URL. Let's see, there's a whole notification system. So I actually, again, I told you, it's like, why would I ask these things for someone and instead of some other major feature, right? So like, I was messing around with this Windows system, and like you can dock it over here. You can move them into different dock sections. You can shrink it down, and there's just so many cool things. And again, afternoon for this entire system. You can pull it off, make it 2 windows again. So it feels like a game. Like, how would a gamer perceive all this stuff? And does it make sense? And you can.
Man, this is super cool. Imagine when we pull this live and you see your claim stake from C4 on the planet that you are, that you have your operations, you see your ships flying around. We see Galia coming to life. It's going to be extremely cool.
Yeah.
I really love this.
Yeah, and it also is to kind of prove out how our data can be built by anybody now, with all this outside tools enabling people. Let them build with our programs and create your own front end. And maybe you didn't like some of the decisions I made. Like someone saw this and they're like, oh, I actually like that better. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we can make a quality setting that where it just looks like a bunch of shapes instead of an actual space view.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just a cool. Yeah, just to prove out proof of concept of this kind of experiment to see what's
No,
possible.
no, this is extremely cool. The future looks bright. Yeah, Danny, thank you very much for taking your time. I know you're super busy, vibe coding the universe, one prompt at a time. But I'm sure the community enjoy being here with you, hearing your vision, your work. W's in the chat for our CPO, Danny. Guys,
Let's go. W's in the chat. It's exploding.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's fun. Well, that's
and
going on as
and
always.
and please do come back, Danny. We love to have you here. I'm sure community would appreciate to have you here many more times.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. All right.
Thank you
Awesome,
so much, Danny.
awesome.
And hope you
Thank
guys
you,
enjoyed it
Danny.
in the chat. It was a
All right.
fantastic brew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
everyone.
We'll see you
And don't
tomorrow.
miss tomorrow. Be here. I'm serious. Don't think about not being here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do whatever you take, whatever it needs. Tell your wife, your boss, your parrot. You need to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, same time as the brew today.
Same time.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. And yeah, Mood FIC refill is coming. The team is over. And see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
See ya. Bye bye.
Yep.